Oh, look who's here, Julien. How are you? How's parents? How's the evening?
Good morning, Max. I'm doing great. Hey, what's up with you this week? You get that, you get that Max special smile that's telling me there's something going on. Is there something going on?
There's always something going on, but I have a follow-up story.
You do?
I do. So it's a red letter day.
Let me guess. Could that be? I'll have three guesses if you don't mind. Could that be the IRS?
No, I wish.
No. All right. Well, you may not wish because it's very seldom.
Wish, but there's a lot of money sitting out there that I've never heard anything about. Put it that way.
All right. That cannot be the water sprinkler again, right? That's not related to that.
No. Thank God, no sprinklers.
All right. It's not the concert season. So could that be your doctor medical insurance of some sort that's coming back to Earth?
No, it's the subscription story.
Oh, the stuff you subscribed to because you wanted to watch a game and you were way too lazy to move to the radio and turn on the button, and you subscribed to something.
But there was the big piece in all of that was my cable service, which had, the package went away and the price went way up to here.
I remember that.
So,
just a follow-up from my side on this, you suggested I create a company to get to people to subscribe, to cancel the subscription. I've not done that quite yet, but I'm on.
Okay.
Anytime.
So you got time this weekend, maybe?
I'm sure I will. I'll find a way.
So, that my bundle discount had disappeared probably a year ago, and the price shot up, and I finally screwed up my courage and called the cable company, and of course had to go dig really deep on the website to find the phone number. Through that, they of course were trying to get me to, update your services, do it yourself. Why call us? Great. I went in there. I had the option to edit services. I did not have the option to drop services, which I get, but really, I mean, whatever. So, and I don't think this is the sort of thing you can self-service, because there's at least the appearance of special discounts and things that the guy goes off and finds. And I would never feel like I knew how to shoot those rapids properly to get to the right information. So, but I did try. I looked at it, dug around. I finally found the 800 number. I called it 2 or 3 step verification, then a long explanation about literally there are 4 ways I could upgrade my sports package. One was talk to my TV and say, I want the new sports package. And there was press 9 on the call to get to it, or just this endless prompt about signing up, and you couldn't get through that prompt. You had to listen to the whole thing. Eventually I got to an agent, and very nice guy, old guy like me. Interestingly, you get moments to chat, and he has been an agent or in the contact center for like the last 15, 20 years. And his last thing was at a competing cable company. And at one point I said something about, my gosh, that's a long time. He was there 10 years, he said. I said, it's a long time being there. No, I wasn't an agent that whole time. He was like supervisor and stuff like that. But he had been doing this forever, which is not something you normally see. So that was kind of interesting. Then it finally got to the packages and things, and they've actually changed how they do things, and I kind of like how they've done it. I did jettison the phone, so I don't know if it's officially disconnected yet, but I no longer have a home phone.
Okay.
I am I hesitated on the security system because I wasn't sure what my wife thought about it. And I can save another $25 a month. So who knows how long it'll take me to get around to calling to saving $25 a month. But I may try to just do it right away. And then they, so they dropped the price and they dropped the this and they dropped the that. And it's still, I don't know, maybe a third more than my bundle was. A third more. It's still, well, I'll just kind of use numbers. So it was like $50 more than my discounted bundle was, but it's like $75 less than I was paying. So it's good. I could probably get it back down to something. Oh, and I got faster internet. I probably could get it down to something closer to what I was paying before if I were to call the competitor, get a quote, and then call them and say I want to cancel, and then get to the special people. I don't want to do that. So I think this is where I am. So it was a lot more work than it should have been to get there. And it was on a Sunday in their defense. So that's kind of a goofy time to call them. But boy, there was somebody there when I got to the point of finding a human. And not full satisfaction on what I got, but I got faster internet. Oh, I also got more TV channels that I don't care about. So that
right.
For my $50, I got a little something back for it. Okay. So that's my story. It's a short one.
You managed to get rid of stuff you don't need and get new stuff you don't need. That sounds like a great deal, but for a cheaper price. Well, okay, lot to unpack here again, but just to start, for people watching this video, you're actually referring to episode 94, if you want the whole story of why you subscribed in the first place and what terrible things happened to you.
94?
I believe that was 94, correct.
Okay.
So that was not that long ago. So it means you got around it pretty quickly. It didn't take you a year to figure out that you were paying.
No, it didn't. I got there. I got there, and I also can't. I guess I should state my wins here. I also canceled that radio thing, which I don't think I'd canceled yet when we talked. Maybe I had, and I canceled 2 or 3 other things. My canceling. I don't know of anything else I need to cancel. That's where I am, and it's been a long time since I've been there.
All right, as long as you don't cancel your subscription to your CX therapy, I think we're good.
No, never would do that.
So first, let me try to relate here, because there are a bunch of stuff that I'm paying for that I don't care about. Typically, my internet package always comes with TV. I do not watch TV, like, ever. I watch Netflix or Prime or stuff like that, but not TV. I'm paying for 100-something channels that I have not turned on in the 5 years I've been living in France, but I'm paying for them. I'm also paying for landline. I don't even have a phone to connect. I don't even know if I have a plug in my home to connect to it, but I'm paying for it. And there is no package today that allows you to take internet only, which is really the only thing I need.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it seems to be standard right now. The other thing is I'm paying for my cell phone, and for my cell phone, every time you register, they give you a bunch of free stuff you don't care about that magically becomes something you pay for 2 months later. So the first thing I do whenever I change provider, which I haven't done in a while, I must admit, is turn all of these things off with a 50 prompt. Are you sure? Like, you're really, really sure? You won't regret that? No, I'm sure. Get rid of that stuff. So I can totally relate.
But you don't want to get rid of that, right?
Sorry?
You don't want to get rid of that, though, right?
Let me think it through. Prompt me again, I'll tell you. The only thing I can't relate with is the insane amount of money you're paying for these things, because $50 more or less is basically the entire cost of my package. I think I'm paying something like, well, Euro and USD is pretty close these days, so I can talk in either currency, that would be the same thing. I think I'm paying less than $30 for my home internet, including TV, including landline.
Wow.
Plus another $7 for my unlimited calling cell phone with 30 gigs of 4G data. Probably 5G by now, but my phone can get 5G anyway. So So we're really not talking same scales here. I don't know if
No,
you're using
I'm
the.
over. I'm in the 150 a month range.
Wow. All right. Well, cost of living is probably not the same in the US and in France. That might explain some of that.
Man.
But all right, at least I can relate. I want to pick on something you said that you did not develop, but I'm very interested in that. You said you had 3 options to cancel. The first one being talk to your TV. Did you say that, or did I misunderstand it?
Yes.
And
So
you
this is
don't...
why it's more than $30. The service, it's Comcast, and it's getting around saying it's Comcast is just more trouble than it's worth. The remote on Comcast now has voice activation, and it's pretty slick. You can you can say, sign me up for my sports package, and they'll sell it to you. But you can also, I want to watch the Giants game, and it will either take you there or say, did you want the football Giants or the baseball Giants? I can say, I want to watch Handmaid's Tale on Hulu, and it'll take you into Hulu and open up that. And because you're in Hulu, it'll know the next episode to watch.
That's funny, because when I bought my TV 5-ish years ago now, it's not new anymore. That's a Samsung TV. It had this very cool feature where you could talk to the controller, and I was like, wow, that's very cool. I'm going to use it all the time. I used it twice. It got it wrong, probably because my French accent was too thick at the time. And then I stopped using that service altogether. And when I want to talk to the TV now, I tend to use Google Home. That also gets it wrong anyway, but turns something on the TV, usually not the right program. All right. So what is the problem? Is your relationship with your TV not good enough that you absolutely wanted to talk to a human being versus just ordering your TV to cancel your subscription?
Well, the only thing that was made apparent to me that I could do was to sign up for this advanced sports package that I had no interest in whatsoever. Okay. I couldn't, no, it's not smart enough to say, I want to get rid of these services. How much is that going to cost me?
Not quite sure that's a problem of smart enough. If it can understand how to get more money, it should understand how to give back some money. I'm pretty sure the problem is somewhere else, but I may be wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So interesting experience here. So that was kind of painful, but not that painful in the end to cancel. But they still wanted to make you jump through a few hoops to make sure that was worth the trouble.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of silly for them to have edit my package on there. I mean, I guess there's probably a small number of people who will add something, and that's a big win for them, so why not? But other than that, there really weren't any, there weren't enough things I could change to be worth the 3 web pages it was to do this and the drill downs on all of that. And, just the subtleties of, well, how much more is it with this speed and how much more is it with that speed? And if I had this TV thing and that speed, what does that do? And, there's so many variables. It really is self-service sensible.
It's interesting you bring that up, because it brings me to another topic. There has been a battle for the past many years between 2 schools of thoughts when it comes to product packaging. There are people who will tell you that the best is to give as many options as possible. And it seems to be exactly what your provider is doing, because you consider each customer is unique. Your needs are unique. And maybe you want package A, B, C with a special configuration that would be slightly cheaper, bring you more value, and you love the complexity of having 50,000 tick boxes you can check because you're unique. You're not the same as your neighbor. And then there is the other school of thought that's telling you, okay, maybe there is no one size fits all, but there is one size that's more convenient for all. And here is my offer, single price or couple of options, and that's it. Take it or leave it. And we kind of have that here in France as well. You have a few providers that now have a single option.
Wow.
That try to cater as much as possible, but this is insanely simple. And you will always have people that don't fit, but if they don't fit well, you have plenty of other providers. But at least for the others, it's dead simple. So there's no negotiation, there is no complexity. That is our offer. It covers most of what people need. And if you miss some options, go elsewhere. But we're pretty sure it's gonna fit your basic requirement. The price is sleek. That's always good. And I'm a person who likes to customize a little. But I must say that when I'm given a single option and the option is good enough, it's usually a better pick for me. How is it like in the US? Do you have, is it
So
usually,
and it's an interesting question, and it actually with Comcast it's evolved. The historically the way it's worked, recent history, there are typically three packages: good, better, best, and better is what they sell 80% of, and that kind of whole structure. And that was what I had basically. What the guy told me was that they're kind of going away from that. They still have packages, but it used to be the package was what they built the discount on, and the individual pieces were priced at the individual prices. But now what they've done is, here's three packages. If Julien wants to do the Julien specific package, all the components in those three packages are all available. You can mix and match them in any way you want. You could total up that price for that specific thing. So if the packages are close enough to what you want, you don't need to know anything more than good, better, best. And they're out of the drop off a cliff thing, right? What I ran into, where, okay, you got this, I guess it should be this way. You got this discount, you're paying here, and surprise, now you're paying up here. Now I think in a year, the price goes up by $25. And if I call them, they'll take the 20. Why I have to call them once a year to say hi, take $25 off my bill? I don't know, but that's a lot better than what it was jumping up before. And as we've established, I'm not a good caller and change it guy.
I kind of see, I mean, I'd like to make an analogy here with another two companies we've talked about in the past, being Netflix and Amazon Prime. Well, it's kind of changing, because I seem to understand that now Netflix is about to try a new model where they would have accounts with advertising versus accounts without advertising and different price point. But let's go back to the basics. Netflix has this offer where you have a few flavors of the same offer depending on whether it's just for you, for multiple TVs, whether it's
right.
HD or lower quality, but basically it's one package fits all. The differences are really small, and they're not like 50 options. And then you get everything on the menu, consume it as much as you want, as often as you want, whatever device it's working. Prime is slightly different. They also have a pretty large catalog. You have a single price, they are not multiple offers, but you have all the add-ons. You have all those nice movies that, hey, they're not included, but you can either rent them or buy them. And it's a very different model of consumption and a very different price point as well, because ultimately it's probably cheaper than Netflix, but if you start consuming the extra stuff, it becomes incredibly expensive. And that's funny, because they are also based on a subscription model. The difference is it's much easier to cancel or to change it. It seems like with telcos, they always try to make it a little bit more complex. It's always easier to sign in than to sign off.
Than to sign out. Yeah. And you can get into the, we've locked you in deals, and there's a penalty for leaving and stuff. Yeah, the Amazon one's interesting because there are two things about it. One is, renting those movies is pretty geniusly priced. It's like $4 usually. Some of the fancier ones are more, but it's like, I'm comfy on the couch. I got my popcorn. This was a movie I really want to watch. $4. Yes. I'll do. And, there's you just press yes and they bill you. It's absolutely frictionless. And, with Prime, you also get 2-day package delivery and faster checkout when you buy stuff on Amazon. So it's the breadth of what you get with their package is interesting too. And bizarrely disconnected. Next thing you know, they're going to throw in contact center seats.
I hope not, but they could, maybe. Yeah, well, that's interesting. And going back to your original story, I understand you're paying more than you were paying originally. I understand you're paying less than what you were paying lately. You're kind of happy, but not so much with the pricing. Are you kind of happy with the experience itself? How would you rate that?
Happy, satisfied, not greatly satisfied. If the self-service part wasn't so lame, it would have been a great experience. I got to an agent quickly. The agent was great, both interpersonally and his ability to know what he needed to know and to come up with the options and to make it clear how they worked. So that was, and to me, that was more important. I knew it wasn't going to be easy to find their phone number. I wasn't born yesterday. And I was foolish on the web to fiddle around with stuff, but I was just curious. The IVR was the one thing that was just galling. How hard it was to get to the point of just let me talk to an agent was bad, but the rest of it was fine.
And that always keeps me wondering if I understand why they do that. I understand you really want to discourage people from canceling anything because you're losing revenue. But I'm just wondering the costs of pissing people off, which is a pretty big risk because instead of losing $25, you might lose the entire contract. And the cost of paying additional agents on a Sunday, maintaining your IVR and all of that thing just to try to discourage people. Is it really, are you really making money? Isn't the risk higher? Wouldn't it be easier to make it simple for people to disconnect options, but also simple to connect new options? And I'm not quite sure that's such a good bet. Traditionally, when you make it difficult, and that might be just me, but traditionally, when you make it difficult for me, the first opportunity I have to go to a competitor, I take it until I realize a competitor is doing exactly the same thing. But that's probably another story.
It's an interesting point. I think your last little aside is the answer is competition's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, if someone were to come up with a $30 a month, I'm going to get you all the same stuff. Just do it online. There's no options. It's $30 a month and you're going to get these things. I would be gone. No two ways about it very, very quickly, but there isn't. So.
All right. Well, as soon as I build my new subscription-based company, I'll be looking in the telco industry. So that I might need a couple more weeks, but count on
that one. There's a little more infrastructure required to build a telco, I hear.
Well, I hear MVNO is a better model because I'm not planning on laying cables across the US, but I'll figure this out. Give me a week and then consider it done. Are you feeling any better?
I'm feeling good. I mean, I shed all my subscriptions. I got to crow about it. I feel a lot worse knowing how much you pay for cable or for internet and cable, but I'll just put that aside because lovely as it would be to move to France, it's not going to be in my cards for a little while anyway. So,
well, you would be most welcome anyway, and I do hope again that you're not planning on canceling a subscription to the CX Therapy because I will badly need you next week. I have a story I'm dying to tell you.
Well, and I'm dying to listen. I'll get off the couch, I'll clean it up, and we'll be ready for you. How's that?
Perfect. Count me in. I'll see you next week, Max. Thank you.
All right, sounds great.
Good week. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.